do deserve a government that's going to continue to say, get vaccinated. And you know what? If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train beside vaccinated people and put them at risk.
Hi everyone, my name's Sean Rickard. Welcome to the channel. I actually set up this channel, I think last October, right before the travel ban actually came into effect. I put up a quick video there, and it's always been my intention to shoot more videos and keep you guys up to speed, and also just to essentially introduce myself and put a face to a name. So anyway, we're here now. I'm going to do that in this video, and I'm going to be posting more videos as we go forward and as we get closer to the time of actually going to our hearings and so on in the federal courts. So I would suggest that you subscribe to this channel. I've chosen Rumble because I do have a YouTube channel. I shoot like fishing, outdoors, and camping type videos over on YouTube, but I knew if I started posting there was always a risk that they would delete the videos and take them away. So I have set up, as I said, the Rumble channel, and this is where I'm going to be posting everything. So if you want to follow along and be kept up to speed with what's going on with the case and the other cases that are going on, then I would suggest subscribing to the channel. And if you can share this and get it out there, that'd be great. Another reason for doing this is I've been getting a lot of questions through the various Facebook groups and other groups as to what's going on with the case. Are we affiliated with Brian Peckford, all of that type of thing. So I'm going to try and address some of that today here for us, and sort of clarify a few points for everybody and let you know what we're doing and kind of a rough landscape of what our strategy is moving forward with this case as we head into federal court. So again, my name's Sean Rickard. I'm actually a British citizen. I'm a permanent resident in Canada. I've been here for 34 years, and as of October of last year, I started following along very closely with the potential threats of this travel ban being implemented by Trudeau and the Liberal government. As many of us know, during the late summer months, during his campaigning for the election, it was always very much a big part of his platform was to make sure that the unvaccinated never get on a plane, train, or ship in Canada ever again. So, and here we are today. It happened. So in October, I started following all of that. It worried me probably more so than most because I do like to travel, and I also have, I'm the only member of my family in Canada, so I do need to be able to travel back and forth to England. I have a sick father over there, and so it did disturb me to think that the possibility of me being able to leave the country could actually be a reality, and again, here we are, it is. So anyway, so I reached out to several people during that time. I reached out to a couple of politicians. Some of them never got back to me. Eventually, I connected with Roman Baber. I had a great, about a half-hour conversation with him. I was looking for ideas and I guess some guidance as to how I might make this happen. As far as if the ban came into place, I wanted to make sure that we were immediately ready to file a lawsuit with the federal courts to overturn the ban, and he was very helpful. And he also, during that conversation, introduced a gentleman's name into the conversation by the name of Sam Presvelos at Presvelos Law LLP, and he now is our lawyer. Right after the conversation with Roman, I immediately called Sam. Sam was as passionate about this whole case and this whole potential to fight and push back in the federal courts on this, and we were both as passionate as one another. So we kind of joined forces at that time. I asked him, obviously the usual questions: what sort of cost are we looking at? He agreed to sort of discount somewhat what he could, and we essentially at that point agreed that I would begin a fundraiser. And right after I got off the phone with him that night, I put together a GoFundMe and immediately started pushing that out there on social media through Facebook and various other channels. but it really wasn't gaining any traction. So I started a Twitter account, I think in January of 2021. I'd never really used it. I'd had one in the past and then deleted it because I never used it. But I went on there and I noticed that there was a lot of conversation and there seemed to be a lot of support for these types of causes. So I decided that I would sort of reactivate the account, get it up and going, and sure enough, I started pushing the fundraiser. I started telling people about what's going on. A lot of people weren't even aware that there was a travel ban potentially coming into place, and I started raising funds. And sure enough, by November 30th, the ban was in place, and I think by that point I'd already raised about $5,000. And then when the ban actually came in, I was able to, between I guess late October and sort of mid-December, I'd raised about $15,000, 14,500 or 15,000, somewhere around there. So it was working. Facebook wasn't very effective for that. There were a lot of people on there talking about the travel ban, but they weren't willing to support it financially, no matter the amount. I don't know why, and I'm not knocking anybody for that. Some people can, some people can't. We're grateful for any donations that we can get. So anyway, long story short, we began the process of preparing to file our notice of application with the federal court. And during this process, and even right through till I actually had the notice of application ready to go, people started reaching out to me, and there were various, offers of help. But one gentleman came forward offering financial help with the case, and so we had a conversation. And then we ended up having a second conversation, Zoom call with myself, Sam, our lawyer, and this fellow, and he, in a nutshell, offered to fund the case and keep us going. So at that point, it was quite a relief because we knew that the costs were going to be quite expensive to put a case like this through the courts. I mean, this is a landmark case. We were the first to file in Canada to overturn the travel ban, and we filed our notice of application on December 24th, 2021, and then a second legal challenge, was filed with the federal courts by JCCF, the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, and their lawyers filed a case. And there were 6 applicants in that case, and still are. And one of them was the Right Honorable Brian Peckford, who I'm sure you've seen being interviewed online and so on. So we filed December 24th, 2021. They filed January 26th, 2022. And here we are today. And since then, there have been 2 other cases filed as well. So there are 4 cases total. One is a lawyer out of Quebec. I'm not going to get into the details of anybody's cases, what their strategies are. That's up to them to tell you about. But I will go into detail a little bit in a moment about what our strategy is based on. And so the 4th person to file was Maxime Bernier, and he only filed, I think, about a month or so ago. And again, I have no idea what his case pertains or what his strategy is with his legal team. But there are 4 cases now, and under order of the Crown, all 4 cases have been essentially ordered to run concurrently together. So we have 4 cases running concurrently. They will be treated as individual cases. We're not sort of being bunched into one group. We all have our own experts. We all have our own legal teams. So it's cut up into 4 pieces, but it's all going to run down the pipe at the same time. So right now, we have been in conversation with JCCF, their lawyers. Keith Wilson is the lead on that. And some of you guys might have seen him doing some great work down in Ottawa with the trucker convoy and so on. And so we are in communication with one another, and we are working together, and we will also be able to draw off each other's experts. We have 5 experts total. It took us wow, it seems like a lifetime ago, but it was about 2 to 3 months to put together our expert reports and affidavits. It's for those of you out there that are questioning the length of time it takes to get these cases into court and to get them moving, and as far as receiving hearing dates and all that type of thing, this all takes a great deal of time and a great deal of money. We're in a position right now, I'm sorry for being a little bit vague, but I can't go into too many specifics here because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much. We have filed all of our expert affidavits on March the 11th with the Attorney General of Canada. So their lawyers have all that information. They're going to be returning their expert affidavits, and there's a lot of them. That they're throwing everything at this. So right now, I think the cross-examinations are scheduled to begin on April 26th, and they will run through to May 16th. That's them cross-examining our experts and the other 4 cases, the other 4 applicants' experts. So again, very long, very time-consuming process. The expert reports were especially challenging because if you remember, over the last 2 to 3 months, the whole landscape regarding COVID has changed. We were initially dealing with, I think, the back end of the Alpha variant, and then we were working right through the Delta variant, and then came along Omicron, which worked in our favor, but nevertheless, our evidence and how we presented it all had to be changed, and it completely turned everything upside down a little bit. So we got there, we got it all done, and it was literally down to the wire, and we got everything filed, and we have, in my opinion, some of the best experts we could possibly have in Canada. We have scientists, we have doctors, we have aerospace experts, and we also have some of the top infectious disease experts there are. So, and again, same with trying to find a lawyer during this whole crazy political climate that we're in right now during the last 2 years in COVID. Very difficult to find a lawyer to put their reputation on the line and work with you. We're very fortunate and very grateful to have Sam working with us, and he's a phenomenal, very smart lawyer. And but with the experts, the beginning of the process going through these medical expert affidavits that we needed and these reports, people are nervous. They're worried about speaking out. They're literally, their careers and potentially their lives are on the line, and not their lives, but their livelihoods, I should say. And it was a tough process, but we found 5 exceptional people and experts in their field who were willing to step forward for everybody in Canada, essentially, who's unvaccinated, and put forth evidence proving that this travel ban is unscientific. It's plain and simple. This is not based on science. And while we're on that subject, I want to stress to you all out there right now that anybody who thinks that Trudeau is going to drop this travel ban, I think is going to be in for a rude awakening. We've all been hoping it. We hoped when we filed our affidavits and the lawyers saw them that they would perhaps back down and drop the mandate. But we're learning very quickly that they're prepared to throw everything they possibly have at this case. They're going to be spending, I can't even fathom the amount of money they're spending on the legal team that's involved in this, that the Attorney General's put together. It's beyond comprehension. This is Trudeau's baby. He will never let this go, and he controls it 100%. It's not like the mandates in the provinces and everything that the premiers have control over. This is his baby. He is not going to let it go. I mean, look what happened just a week ago now when the NDP Liberal coalition that conveniently came out of the woodwork got into the House of Parliament and voted to keep these federal mandates in place. It's my opinion, and again, I'm going to be careful what I say here. This is my opinion. Everything I'm saying here is my opinion. I'm not speaking for anybody else here. But in my opinion, this travel ban is here to stay. At minimum for 1 year, and if Trudeau is able to stay in power for another 3.5 years until 2025, then we could potentially be looking at not being able to leave our own country or travel within it for another 3 years or so. So please bear that in mind. This case now has become probably one of the most important cases in recent history. It's a landmark case, and we need to win it. And in order to do that, we need your help. So we've already exceeded our expectations of what we were going to spend on this case. We far surpassed that already. We're well over $100,000 in right now, and we haven't even stepped into a courtroom yet. And there's a potential we could end up having to go to, appeal. Who knows where this is going to go? So what I've done is I've started up a fundraiser on. We're not using GoFundMe. Please don't worry about that. We will never use GoFundMe again. I actually shut down all of the fundraisers that we had on GoFundMe when the Freedom Convoy fiasco happened, and I've set up a Give, Send, Go. And we really need people to, if they can, to go in their pockets and help donate and help fund this case. Again, I can't stress to you enough, the government are going to throw everything they can at this. And there's about approximately 6 million Canadians right now that are affected by this travel ban. So we need to do everything we can and throw everything we have at these lawsuits to get this ban overturned. And we can win. I'm confident that we can win. And if I could show you what I have here right now, you would probably think the same way too. The evidence is so compelling. Our case, I guess, just to give you a little bit of background, is primarily science-based, which is why we have the 5 medical experts. We're going to be using the charter, obviously, too, but primarily our objective is to prove unequivocally that this is not a science-based decision. This is Justin Trudeau being vindictive, spiteful, and nasty to the unvaccinated population of Canada. It's as simple as that. He hates us, and I say that quite openly. I'm not afraid to say that. Trudeau hates the unvaccinated people. He despises us, and anybody who doesn't comply with him is going to be penalized to the extent that he has the power to penalize us too. So with that said, if you can, please go in your pocket, donate to the GoFundMe. I know some of you out there right now are thinking, well, I'm not going to donate to a fundraiser, to a crowdfunding site after what happened to the truckers. I can assure you 100%, if you donate to this site, they cannot and will not freeze your bank accounts. This is a legitimate legal challenge in a federal court. They cannot freeze your bank account. It's a legal challenge. We're not organizing a rally or a protest outside of the Houses of Parliament or anything like that. We are literally we have filed a legal challenge in the federal courts. So they will not be freezing people's bank accounts. It would be detrimental for them to do so. Give, Send, Go has assured us that our fundraising efforts are safe with them. They're not backing down from anything, and we're not doing anything wrong. We are literally doing what we're supposed to do. We're taking them to court. We're essentially suing them to overturn something that we consider to be either illegal or unconstitutional, and just a blatant violation of our rights and freedoms. So if you can, please, I'll put links in the description box below. If you can go there and donate to the Give, Send, Go page, it would be greatly appreciated. We all want to fly again, and we're going to do everything in our power to make that happen. So I'm gonna close off here and leave you with a thought. It's hard to comprehend that we live in supposedly free and democratic society. And I'm here having to tell you this on camera, and I'm having to tell you not to be afraid about donating to a fundraiser, because that's how far our government has overreached and brought about these tyrannical regulations that everybody around the world is talking about. It's insane. So if you can, please help us. I should point out also that I've set up an e-transfer option. If people are still worried, even though you have no need to be, I assure you, about donating to Give, Send, Go. It's a good platform. They're on our side. They're on our team, and the government will not intervene and be freezing bank accounts. And don't forget that the emergency powers aren't in place anymore. And even if they brought them in, we're not doing anything that they could even consider to be illegal, because we're going through a legal process in the federal courts. So please donate to Give, Send, Go. If you can't do that, or you're still not comfortable doing that, I have set up an e-transfer option. So you can, that's right at the top in the description on the Give, Send, Go page. You can send e-transfers over $50. I've made it over $50 just because I don't want a million small incremental amounts coming into the account. It's gonna cost money for that, and it's just a pain, to be honest. So anything over $50 and over, you can e-transfer. Give as much as you want. If you're giving a smaller amount through Give, Send, Go, it all helps. Anything you can give to help us get this ban overturned will be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna close out here and show you some video footage just to remind you why we need to do this and what a nasty human being we're dealing with in Justin Trudeau. Thanks for watching.
On va s'en sortir de cette pandémie par la vaccination. Puis on en connaît tous des gens qui sont en train d'hésiter un petit peu. On va continuer d'essayer de les convaincre. Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens-là ou est-ce qu'on les small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians. There's a level of admiration I actually have for China. Their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say,
So, yeah, have you seen Trudeau as well? We did Plank of the Week yesterday, first one of the year. Justin Trudeau came out and said that he has found that unvaccinated people are often misogynists.
And racist. Yes.
I mean, really?
That's the leader of Canada coming out with such polarizing things, causing others.
Yes.
I mean, and you wonder how... we're not allowed to say this on air, I know, but certain things happened during the Second World War. How did they happen?
Yes.
And it's like this.
Well,
and with the Prime Minister of Canada, the way he's behaving right now, he's exactly like a tyrant, like a dictator. He's like Ceausescu in Romania.
That it would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau. Then again, a Prime Minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists just because they dared to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy, should not be allowed to speak in this House at all. Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence. Thank you.
Poštovane kolege, dragi građani, premijeru Trudeau. Sloboda, pravo izbora, pravo na život i zdravlje, pravo na rad za mnoge od nas, to su temeljna ljudska prava za koje su milioni građana Europe i svijeta položili svoje živote. Za obranu naših prava i prava naše djece koje smo stjecali stoljećima, mnogi od nas, uključujući i mene, spremni smo riskirati vlastitu slobodu i položiti vlastite živote. Nažalost, danas su među nama i oni koji gaze te temeljne vrijednosti. Kanada, nekada simbol modernog svijeta, je pod vodstvom vaše kvazi-liberalne čizme proteklih mjeseci postala simbol kršenja temeljnih ljudskih prava i građanskih sloboda. Gledali smo kako konjima gaze žene, kako samohranim roditeljima blokirate bankovne račune, da ne mogu platiti djeci školovanje, da ne mogu platiti lijekove, da ne mogu platiti račune za struju i vodu, da ne mogu platiti rate kredita za svoje domove. Za vas su to možda liberalne metode. Međutim, za mnoge građane svijeta to je diktatura najgore vrste. Budite uvjereni da građani svijeta, udruženi, mogu zaustaviti svaki režim koji želi uništiti slobodu građana, bilo bombama, bilo štetnim farmaceutskim proizvodima. Hvala.
President, honourable members, we keep discussing here our European democratic values that underpin all of our actions. I worked in Syria and Pakistan for many years as a diplomat and therefore value democracy very highly. Now, the invitation to Canadian PM Justin Trudeau is an invitation to someone who's been trampling on democratic rights, who's been cracking down on people who protested against disproportionate corona measures, people who were supporting a non-sanctioned movement coming under criticism. So clearly the values of democracy being despised by this individual. Let us not give someone like this any speaking time in this house of democracy.